No, not stretch tires. Oh my God, no, not the most worst thing in the world. Oh my God, I dropped my script because it's such a terrible thing to talk about. We're here to talk about stretch tires because you guys want to know what sort of tires you can stretch on wheels. Now, it is a hot topic. I get it, and I know that it's something that some people don't usually get, all super happy about when we discuss. But I'm gonna be honest with you, stretch tires aren't going away anytime soon. And in terms of fitment, stretch tires are a thing that you have to know. So we are also gonna be dropping a video next week talking about how to actually measure for stretch tires. But for the most part, for right now, we're just gonna talk about what tires should you stretch and what tires are you gonna wanna stay away from in regards to stretching. And we're just gonna get started by letting you guys know, don't forget to subscribe so we can get to 100,000. And if you're interested in tires or wheels, check out fitmentindustries.com. I'm Alex, and let's just jump right into it. So the first thing that you're gonna wanna remember with stretch tires is two really crucial things. The first thing that you're gonna wanna remember is that when you're stretching tires, a lot of it comes down to sidewall strength. So sidewall strength is something that a lot of wheel companies or tire companies tell you about. They talk about all sorts of advanced technology and things that they put in their sidewall. And that does play a role into how strong these tires are gonna hold up, especially when you go down a size or two. But the sidewall strength doesn't necessarily come straight from the technology, because actually a lot of sidewalls that have a lot of technology in them, a lot of race performance oriented tires and things like that, actually will sometimes have less sidewall strength overall than a tire that just maybe not have as much technology or as much thought into the sidewall as a lot of those higher echelon of tires. Sidewall strength is super important because when you're bending it back, essentially when you're tightening it up and you're pulling it back, you're gonna put more stress on the sidewall of your tire. And as a result, what you're gonna end up doing is that if you don't have a proper tire that has good sidewall strength, that has good rubber contact, that is, I don't know if I wanna say the word firm, because that sounds wrong, but you're gonna wanna make sure that when you're looking at tires, that you get something that's gonna have a strong sidewall patch. Now, a lot of times people wanna run Toyo Proxy R888Rs because they have a very aggressive setup and they wanna stretch them down so that for some reason you can have a track-oriented tire on a not track-oriented wheel. That's really not gonna work out for you very well because those tire sidewalls aren't meant for that sort of thing. And the second thing that you're gonna wanna remember is the highest priced tire does not automatically mean that it's the best tire for stretching. Now, we've all made that mistake before. We've all thought we wanted to run the coolest, highest priced tires, or we wanted to run some Super Sports or Pilot Sports or 4S's or something like that, and then turns out you can't stretch them worth a damn because they just don't stretch. And that's completely fine, but a lot of people make that mistake because they just think that if they spend a lot of money on a good tire, that it's automatically gonna stretch, and that's just not the case. Tire stretching is very unique in what it does and what you're supposed to do, and in the most extreme cases, really nothing's gonna be able to do the proper amount of function as the same tire on a proper setup. But in terms of only going down a size or two, you can still get some performance out of a stretch tire or a stretch down tire. For instance, my 315/25s on my car personally would be considered stretch down a size. Now, does that mean that it's terrible and that I've lost all performance? Absolutely not. It's just the way that the fender needs to be set up with the overall fitment. So I know you guys usually get upset when we talk about stretch tires, but keep that in mind before we go into what tires to stretch. So a couple of our favorites would be the Falcon 912, the Nexen SU1, the CP672, which is also a Nexen tire, the Kumo Exta, and then you can also get a couple others under the books, but those are kind of going to be some of our favorites. If you want something a little bit more aggressive, also a good tire to stretch would be the Federal 595, and we're going to go into all of these here in just a minute. So first off, the Federal, it's not the Federal. First off, the 912. So the 912 is the tire to stretch. If there was a tire to stretch, everybody's talking about the 912 on the forums. In fact, the 512 was probably one of the most iconic stretch tires that you could get. They could run 3-4 sizes down and handle it absolutely fine. It'd hold air, it wouldn't break bead, and it just did a good job. It was just a chunky tire that got the job done. Now, it wasn't the most aggressive tire to look at, but it definitely didn't matter because that's not what people really wanted. The 912 ended up replacing it, and the 912 is still a very good tire. But a lot of people that love the 512 usually aren't jumping up to the 912 because they've switched to Nexen. And Nexen is another brand that we talked about. The SU1, which is an the Nexen, which is an Anfera tire, is a really good tire to stretch. Now, the difference between the 912 and the other one that I forgot to call, the difference between the 912 and the SU1 is the SU1 comes in a lot wider sizes. So the 912 is only gonna go up to a 265, whereas the SU1 goes up to a 295. In terms of what the differences are, besides obviously the tread pattern, is the Nexen does seem to have a little bit more flexibility in terms of the wider sizes, but Nexen is just a brand that a lot of people are running now in the current day, whereas the 912s and 512s aren't as common as what they used to be. So we have a lot of guys here at the shop that actually run a stretch tire setup, and they run the SU1s. Now the 672s are also a great tire to stretch if you're looking to get something like that. Now Nexen has a lot of good tires that you can stretch, but the CP672 is also a great option just because it's an affordable tire that gets the job done, that lasts a while and stretches extremely well. So between the 672 and the SU1, it's all personal preference. I know a lot of people here at our own shop will tell you to run the 672, and a lot of people will tell you to run the SU1 on Facebook. So it's completely up to you, but in terms of which one to pick, they're both absolutely solid options. In terms of the Federal 595, that's probably a more aggressive tire setup. It's gonna give you a meatier look, and it's gonna look nice, and it's gonna perform well. One thing you do have to keep in mind though with the Federal 595 is that the sidewall is just a little bit like bulkier than most, and a lot of Federal tires seem to have that bubble. A lot of the Toyos have that too with the R888Rs, where it's just more of a beefy sidewall. So do take that into consideration if you plan on stretching the 595, but it's a great option as well. We've seen people stretch 595s on 13 and 14 wides and still hold air just fine. But keep in mind that with the 595, you are generally paying a little bit more, and in terms of what you get out of it, I'd say it's pretty minimal compared to the price that you're gonna have to pay in comparison to the SU1, the 672, or the 912. And probably one of my favorites is the Kumo Exta. Now the Kumo Exta is not a performance tire, it's not a summer tire, it's not, I think they might even call it a summer tire, but it's not anything too crazy. But what I do love about the Kumo Exta is it's something that I ran personally and had an absolute great time with it. I had a 10 wide wheel with 225, I believe it was 225/50 on it, and it handled it like a dream over time. Had absolutely no issues with it. And the other tires that I've stretched in the past for different cars that we have done here at the shop, or that we've built in my garage with like one flashlight in the freezing temperatures of Wisconsin, I always put the Kumos on if I had to do a size down for fender flares or anything like that, and it never misbehaved. It was an absolutely great tire at a great price, and it's something that I would recommend too if you're looking to get into a set. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit more like aggressively oriented, the Federal 595 is a great looking tire. If you're looking for something that's just gonna get the job done and is what a lot of people are running right now, the CP672 and the SU1 are a great option. If you're looking for more of a classic that has probably the most, I'd say, information behind it, the 912 is an awesome option. And finally, if you just wanna get what Alex likes, you can get the Kumo Exta too. But let us know in the comments what you guys want us to talk about. If this is something that you want us to talk about a little bit more in terms of stretch tires, and if you're interested in these tires, we'll actually drop links below in the description so you can take a look at them. Of course, if you're looking for wheels and tires, you can actually check out fitmentindustries.com. We have everything that you could possibly imagine, from your entry-level wheels to your AGs to everything in between. And if you're looking for suspension too, we've got that as well. Don't forget to subscribe, and on top of that, we're doing a giveaway. So if you can drop your setup into our Fitment Industries gallery and drop a link below to the gallery, we will actually enter you in to win a free Fitment Industries t-shirt. So all you gotta do is add your car, fitmentindustries.com/ad, put the link in the comment section below, and boom, that's all you got. We may even rate it on the Review Our Car series that we post up on Sundays. But I'm Alex from Fitment Industries. Let us know if you have any questions below. We'll see you later. Peace.